everybody, my name is Professor Soborno Isaac Barry from Marytown. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the fall of the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was started construction in June 15, 1961. And it was meant to restrict Eastern Berliners from going to the West Berlin section. If you weren't aware, East Berlin was a communist sector. And, by the way, this was due to a brain drain. That sounds like a funny, goofy word that is just colloquial, but scientists actually use this. One example of a brain drain is when Einstein migrated from the United States to America and actually helped America in terms of developing the Manhattan Project. So who would have known what would have happened if Einstein decided to stay with the Nazis? Anyways, and this is an example of a brain drain, and this is something they obviously wanted to prevent. So how did they do it? Well, they constructed a 12-foot tall concrete fence with 4 feet of barbed wire over it, and you put 110 feet of gravel on it with no cover and several mines, and you put 186 watchtowers over there, maybe 302 more just for extra measure. That's totally what you do, and it's totally efficient and not money draining, and you totally can't just impose a law that makes it illegal to cross the border. Anyway, many refugees from Eastern Berlin tried to escape, seeing their dreams destroyed just days before they thought to travel to a new world entirely. Of the 5,000 people who tried to escape, 160 died, ranging from 15-month-old H. Holstein to an 80-year-old woman whose name I forgot. There was a huge age range of people and a huge number of fatalities. You can just see the suffering that the Berlin Wall caused for people. Then, a politician made traffic laws allowing people from Eastern Berlin to just march free on the other side, not giving access to West Berlin, part of the wall, but giving access to other nations through East Berlin, I believe. And through other nations like Austria and Hungary, they thought they could get into West Berlin with ease. Then a guy stepped up from the audience and asked when this law is going to take place. Politicians just assumed it was immediate. So, when many of these people, these East refugees, heard this on TV, they flee to other countries like Austria and Hungary, and booked it for West Germany or West Berlin, since this is just the city. And a lot of people had escaped. One even ramming through the wall with the darn tank that they hijacked a day earlier. Who does that, man? Who does that? And on 1987, people hammered it down. They chiseled it down, and they even rammed cars into it. It was the Berlin Wall was slowly being watered down bit by bit, and its destruction was imminent. In 1989, 2 years after the initial destruction, people finished throwing a huge street party with sledgehammers thrown and chisels whacked. The people worked so hard. So many people had losses trying to cross the border. But in the end, everybody got it. There were even people like David Bowie playing right next to the eastern Berlin border, so making sure the Westerners could hear. And a few people, I think, got mad in America for not doing anything about it. But hey, you can't just have a third world war right after the second one ended, okay? Anyways, that was a very interesting time of history, piece of history, from 1961 to 1987. Because Berlin was isolated, chopped up, families were split, and friendships were split, and people rioted. And so it was a very interesting time for Germany and all. So, while the rest of the world started modernizing, Berlin kept throwing down this radical wall. This was a crazy experience for any people who were in Berlin at the time. And I imagine that if you had if you partook in it, or if you had any relatives that partook in it, they can tell you a story that you will probably never forget. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.